Fala pessoal, eu tô aqui direto de Barcelona. Depois do sucesso do podcast com o Sagarra, eu resolvi ser um pouco mais ousado e não me restringir apenas a brasileiros. Dessa vez eu vou entrevistar um camarada meu da Holanda, que é tipo um amigo há 10 anos, um cara muito inspirador, e eu vou falar inglês. Então, se você não fala inglês, toma vergonha nessa cara. É 2018 e, inglês é mais do que obrigatório, inglês é essencial. Você vai ficar pra trás se não falar inglês, toma vergonha nessa cara e vai aprender de algum jeito. Seja pegando uma passagem, morando no exterior e tomando tapa na cara pra aprender a língua, seja vendo filme sem legenda, seja através de aplicativos, mas você tem que aprender inglês. Dito isso, Sander, thanks for having me, brother.
Good to see you.
You can speak a little louder because, there we go. Get closer to the microphone. There's a little echo here, but it is what it is. All right, man. I would like to interview you because you're like an inspiration for me, and you're different. You're Dutch. Dutch people are interesting because, nowadays everyone wants to be a DJ. What's up with Dutch youth?
I mean, I think everything starts with having an example. It's the same, for example, why does everyone want to be a football player in Brazil? Because you had Pelé, and he was the best football player in the world. Right. And everyone started to follow his example. It's the same in Holland. In Holland, we had one or two DJs. DJ Tiesto, Armin van Buuren. Everyone saw the success of them.
Tiesto, Armin van Buuren, Afrojack is Dutch.
Right now you have Martin Garrix.
Martin Garrix is Dutch.
Yes.
Who else is Dutch? Sander van Doorn is Dutch.
Sander van Doorn, yeah. So yeah,
everyone. So basically, this whole generation of people who are younger than us will speak slower because Brazilians are still picking up English. I'll try my best to speak slower. This younger generation, they want to be DJs. They don't want to no longer be football players because you don't have a Dennis Bergkamp or a Patrick Kluivert or a Mark Overmars.
I mean, it's easier to reach. To become a DJ. Look at our friend group. We have at least 3 or 4 friends.
We have our friend group. We have Guillaume, who's a DJ. Gio. Reino is a
DJ.
What's his name? Regino. And what's the name of Reynolds?
Enzo Zanetti.
Yeah. Exactly.
So just in our group, there's already 3 DJs. And the funny thing is, you can earn really good money with that. Just for 1 hour, you can ask 250 euros.
250 euros in 1 hour. That's minimum wage for a whole month in Brazil, right?
There you go. So become DJs, guys.
Oh, wow. So, Netherlands is the epicenter of electronic music.
I would say so. Yeah.
How did it start? When do you think did it start?
And to be honest, I'm not very well...
I know. Well versed in electronic music, but when do you remember that clicking, the shift between, hey, I want to be Dennis Bergkamp, from I want to be Armin van Buuren?
Yeah, so I honestly think that's something from the last 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah, something like this.
Well, that's when electronic dance music started, right? So what the hell do you do in Barcelona? Why do you live in Barcelona being a Dutch person?
So it all started with my best friend who went to Barcelona to do his Erasmus exchange.
What's his name?
His name is Guillaume.
Guillaume Smitsmans. Oh, I know that guy too.
Yeah, you did meet him.
I met him. Yeah. He's one of my best friends too.
Yeah.
Shout out to my brother Guillaume.
So so he was going for his third year university. He was going to Barcelona, and he told me this. And he said hey, in January, from January until June, I'm gonna be in Barcelona. What do you think? I said, man, I'm graduated by the time I finished my bachelor degree.
Oh wait, so you finished your bachelor degree in December?
No, so we finished around June, July. But then I took a couple of more months to earn some money in a hotel.
6 months. Where you working? What's your job?
I was working in a hotel and in a restaurant.
You had some weird jobs before being the man you are right now. So you worked in a restaurant doing what?
Being a waiter.
A waiter. You took orders.
I took orders, yeah.
Where about in the hotel?
In the hotel, I was doing the same thing. Actually, I was working in a Chinese restaurant.
Então, ele trabalhava num restaurante chinês como garçom. Your boss was Chinese.
My boss was Chinese.
And he was to you, no?
No, they are businessmen.
Right.
know, and they know exactly, like in Holland, Chinese food is very popular. It has like that mix between what we like in Holland with the vegetables and stuff, and then adopted it to the Chinese flavors. So,
all right. So it's like a adapted Chinese version of food. Exactly. Not really the Chinese food you eat in China.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah. So and I worked at the butcher.
You were like, ele foi açougueiro, butcher.
Yeah, and a butcher. Like I started working when I was like 14, 15.
14, 15. So is this part of Dutch culture to like start working early?
No, not really. The thing is that I just wanted to earn some money. I wanted to
ask your parents for money. Shit, that's what normal people do at 14, 15, no?
Yeah. Well, I asked
I'm teasing you.
Yeah. I asked my father for some cool Nikes, and he said, "Man, then your brother wants them, then the sister wants them, everyone wants them."
Oh, so you have 3 siblings.
Yeah, exactly. No, well, so we are 3 at home. So
ele tem 2 irmãos.
Mm-hmm.
And all right, so this is part of Dutch culture to start, because in America, when you're 15, 16, you start getting summer jobs.
Yeah.
You got like odd jobs getting paid like $8, $10 an hour to just like make some money for yourself, because your parents don't really give you money. Even though you're rich, your parents don't give you money.
Yeah, so I think it was like part of the education, right? So my father, of course, he could have given me money.
Is he an entrepreneur? No.
No,
okay.
He's not. So he of course he could have done that, but he really wanted me to learn how to earn my own cash and how to actually earn the thing I wanted to buy, because like the moment you start earning,
right,
you only realize by then what the value is of the product that you're
I
buying.
Totally agree with you, and I'll tell you something. Why am I stressing this in a conversation with you? Because you come from a middle to high class family in Holland, right? Your family is middle high class, right? In Brazil, high middle class people do not work until they graduate from college. Before that, Papa and Mama give you like money every month to spend.
Yeah.
So I really think it's like a bad part of our culture not to educate these people when they're in high school, 16, 17, to start hustling.
Yeah.
And like knowing the value of like earning money for yourself without getting money from your parents, you know? So you came from a pretty good family. Your parents had money for Dutch standards, but you still had to work.
Yeah, and on that point, to be really honest, like if you work like a whole summer and you earn just enough cash to buy really expensive Nikes, for example.
Nike shoes. Sapatos, tênis da Nike. Ele queria ganhar tênis da Nike.
People could do that, but then if you work a little bit more, you could buy a television. And if you work a little bit more...
Video game, PlayStation, right?
You can buy a PlayStation.
And you can travel to Spain for a weekend. Lloret de Mar.
Exactly. Like these kind of things. So you really start to understand the effort that you put in order to get to a certain place.
Right.
In order to really see what you've done before. You know?
Right.
So that's... And I what you were saying about Brazil, this happens in Holland as well.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, man. There's a lot of my... Well, not friends or people that I know that didn't work. And they still spend probably like 200-300 euros on shoes. Where you think like it's ridiculous.
200-300 euros, that's like, well, times 5. R$1.500, 1,500 reais. That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
What kind of shoes is that? Gucci, right?
I have no fucking
clue. Oh,
clue.
fuck. Parents' money.
It's what they earn by themselves. But then at the same time, they didn't live by themselves. So they were living by their parents in order to afford the shoes and the clothes that
happens in Brazil too. A lot of people who are listening to this podcast still live with their parents.
Yeah.
And one of my missions is like, dude, get the fuck out of there.
It's the most important thing. Like the moment
when did you move out? How old were you?
20.
That's late.
In Holland? Well, I did some stuff.
Oh, you did some Erasmus.
I did Erasmus.
Erasmus é o intercâmbio da Europa. Where did you go for your Erasmus?
To Sweden.
Suécia. A lot of hot girls there?
Yeah, man. That was.
It took me a while. It took you a while to answer, so you probably didn't get lucky in Sweden.
Man, I was really young.
You're young.
Yeah.
You didn't have the game you have today.
I had a different game.
All right. So, well, in Sweden, you met some Portuguese people and started learning Portuguese, right? That's where like our first encounter was in the Carnaval Maastricht through Guillaume, and you started singing songs in Portuguese.
Correct. Yeah.
Chorando se foi, quem dia só me fez chorar.
Yeah, man, I love Brazilian music. I mean, this is Brazilian music, but my indeed in Erasmus it was amazing. I started for the first time in my life. I started meeting international people.
So before your Erasmus experience, you only had contact with Dutch people and Dutch immigrants.
Exactly. Well, not really with Dutch immigrants.
Because you're from Margaret, and
yeah,
it's very white, very Dutch.
Exactly. So I was at a certain point I was living together with Polish people, with people from Spain, from Portugal, from all around the world, and that really opens your eyes at such a young age.
So that's something I also always stress about is like going for Erasmus. Even like Brazilians who have the opportunity to study abroad in Europe, you got to do it, right? Well, my group, we had two Dutch guys, you and Guillaume. Mm-hmm. We had a Moroccan, Kareem.
Ah, yeah, correct. Yeah.
We had a Colombian, Daniel. We had who else? Oh, Chile, Cristobal. Two Mexican girls, Ilse and her friend, I forgot her name. Finland.
Yeah.
Maya. Yeah, Maya. What else? What countries? What other countries?
Oh, we had Dennis, of course.
Dennis, well, but Dutch, like other countries. So, like...
I mean, like, it's really important. Like, I think, because also for me, like, I was going to Sweden.
Right.
Where in Sweden, the official language is Swedish. I had no... I didn't want to learn Swedish.
It's a useless language, kind of, right?
They only speak it in Sweden.
Well, however, if you know Sweden, you can get by in Norway and in Denmark.
Basically.
Right.
But the reason why I wanted to go there is to learn English, and I think.
Your English wasn't that good before Erasmus.
No, not really. I mean, like, you really need to practice a different language on a daily basis in order to actually master it. I think you had the same when you were
in Erasmus. You're obliged to speak English because, as you said, you have contact with people from all over the world.
Exactly.
And your common language is English.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it was a good experience to be in Sweden.
It was the best experience.
Even though you didn't score any goals.
I didn't say that.
All right. Leave it on that.
Yeah.
Well, and then you moved back. You moved to Barcelona. You graduated. You were like working odd jobs, like hotel, restaurant, and butcher. Did you like cut meat?
I was putting the meat into little plastic bags.
Você escutou isso, né? Ele, classe média alta, como se fosse tipo uma família de Ipanema, de Copacabana, do Itaim Bibi. E o trabalho dele com... How old were you when you were a butcher?
14, 15.
Ele tinha 14, 15, 16 anos. Ele trabalhou no açougue, empacotando carne. Isso no Brasil não acontece. All right. And then you had the odd jobs and you moved to Barcelona. Like, exactly. All right. How was it?
Best time of my life. If I remember 2010, that was even with the experience I had from Sweden. Going to Barcelona, where you meet not just European people, but also people like you from Brazil.
Right.
People from the United States.
Right.
People from all over the world, basically. It's like a completely different community. And fantastic.
It's hard to make friends with Catalan people here.
I would say so.
Like, our friends, aside from Sagara, who I interviewed yesterday, it was a great podcast, by the way. Aside from Sagara, it was hard to make friends in Catalonia. Yeah, they're closed off to like foreigners.
I don't think that's the case, because I think Catalan people, actually, if you compare them with the rest of Spain, they speak very well English.
They do.
They are very international minded. If you go travel around the world, you always meet Catalan people.
Right.
It's not people from
and they're
Spain.
richer. Well, they're richer than the rest of Spain,
of course.
if you think about it.
Of course. Yeah.
So like when you're richer, you get more access to English, more access to education, you more access to the world, to traveling.
Of course.
So yeah, but as far as like making friends, I'm sure you don't have many Catalan friends till this day.
No, I do.
You do. Okay.
I do. But the thing is really like for example, me in Holland, like I hang out with my friends that I grew up with.
Right.
Or the people I play football
Exactly.
with.
It's the same way here.
I think it's the same here.
Yeah. Well, and then you fell in love with the city, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna stay here.
Yes, man.
So you were 22. You're from 88, right?
88.
You were 22, and then what? Like you found a job.
Yeah, I my goal was to come to Barcelona and study Spanish, and I saved about 4,000 euros, which is like in reais, I don't know.
Times 5,
20k.
Yeah, entre 15 e 20 mil reais ele salvou. How old were you? 22.
22.
All right.
And
to come to Barcelona and like
study Spanish.
You don't have a job then, like you're
Nothing.
just spending your savings, your 4,000 euros
Exactly.
of saving. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I met one guy called Raiam and some other people, and I basically spent all my money in 2 months without doing.
Well, you're paying rent at the Born.
I was paying rent and
It was
board.
a shitty apartment though.
There was no natural light, nothing.
No light, exactly. There's no windows and shit.
Nothing, no.
Cara, o apartamento dele na cidade antiga de Barcelona não tinha janela. There were no windows, no natural light.
No, nothing. No elevator. No nothing.
It wasn't like the last floor, right? It was like era no sótão de prédio. How much did you spend in like rent? How much was rent there?
I think is it okay if I speak in euros?
Yeah.
So I guess like between Guillaume and me, we were paying 750 euros.
Yeah. So
Which
350.
which is still cheap if you compare it to nowadays.
Right.
It was really cheap.
Right. And then later you're gonna tell me what happened to Barcelona between then and now.
Yeah.
But and then you're living in a shitty apartment. How did you spend all your money?
Well, I guess you and I both know how that happened. We basically
Basicamente, eu, o Sander, o Guilherme, essa galera, a gente saía todas as noites.
Yeah.
Every fucking night.
Apart from Friday.
Saturday, exactly. Friday
and Sunday.
All right, exactly. No, Sunday I went to MVP with Eric.
Yeah,
with the football players.
Yeah.
So, a gente saía todas as noites, menos a noite que as pessoas normais de Barcelona saíam, cara, sexta-feira. On Fridays, what did we do?
Play football.
We had a league, a gente tinha uma liga competitiva que a gente jogava sexta-noite com padeiro, com um monte de gente normal de Barcelona. All right, and yeah, Mondays, we went to Otazuts. Tuesday
to Opium, no?
Opium. Wednesday, Choco Open Bar.
Wednesday Choco, for sure. Yeah.
Thursday, Sutton. Friday off. Saturday anywhere.
Like,
Bikini, whatever. Yeah. Sunday I went to MVP and you didn't go out.
I slept on Sunday.
And Monday again.
Monday, same old thing.
But the thing is, I made money for going out. Eu ganhava dinheiro pra sair porque eu era promoter. Eu ganhava por cabeça que eu botava pra dentro. Tipo, 3 euros. I made 3 euros for every person I put in. You guys just spend money.
Yeah, we were spending... Well, not really. Because you had the open bar, you spent 10 euros and you could drink as much as you wanted. Yeah.
Exactly. That's a good time. Good times.
That was good.
And then, like, your money was over, and then what'd you do?
Yeah, so then, I think already after 1.5 months, I was checking my bank account and... I saw like, oh shit, I only have like 2,000 euros left. And that's only after a month. And then I started applying for jobs and I found a job.
What kind of job?
I started working in a call center.
Mano, ele trabalhava de call center.
Yeah.
Call center.
Yeah.
How much did you make?
So actually, that's a good thing here in Spain. So if you start working somewhere in the middle of the year, you barely pay any taxes because they calculate the full amount.
Oh yeah, makes
from
sense.
The start until the end, and then they deduct the percentage of taxes. So
exactly.
I was making like 900 euros a month, 1,000.
Which is minimum wage.
Yeah, but I was only working 25 hours.
Ok, 25 horas por semana para ganhar 900 euros. 900 euros, tipo 4.500 reais. 4.000 reais. 4,000 reais.
Yeah, so it was pretty decent.
Right, but like for a guy who had a degree in what? Political science. And a master's in?
By that time I didn't have
you didn't have a master's. Okay, yeah. You're making 900 euros, which is minimum wage. Around at that time it was minimum wage in Spain. Yeah. Salário mínimo. Okay, and then you got a job at a call center. You...
Yeah.
High middle class guy, who worked at a butcher, at a restaurant, at a hotel, and at a call center.
So it was an upgrade.
Oh yeah, true.
I was,
and what did you do at the call center?
I was working for Brussels Airlines, and basically they put me to the night shift. So I had to attend French and Dutch speaking people, but they could only be helped in English.
Tu parles français aussi?
No. No, but so that's why they could only call the call center and be helped in English.
Okay, so you spoke English to people in France.
Yeah.
Who had that funny accent? Like?
Well, they didn't speak English, so I had nothing to do. I was sleeping there. I started.
So you got paid to sleep.
Yeah, basically, because I was there with one other woman. And, basically, if I had one call, then I could rest until she had a call, and she hung up on that call.
Oh, it's one-on-one.
One-on-one. So there was days that I only had like one call, and the rest I was sleeping and preparing to go out. And then when I came home, Guillaume or Dennis or someone else prepared dinner, and we were going to the club.
True. Good times. All right. So like, you had odd jobs. Oh, you went back to Holland for a master's? No,
so I went back to Holland because all my money disappeared.
Disappeared? No, you're
I spent
making,
everything.
Oh, you spent. Oh, you're making 900. You're spending 900.
Exactly.
Alcohol. Traveling.
Not too much traveling by then, and I was not going to restaurants, but I think it was mainly party that I spent my money on, and actually that was a funny period because I think the less money you have, the more creative you get, you know. But by the end of the month, I had like 50 euros left, and I knew I would still have to go out 2 times.
Right.
So I would buy these 2 bottles of vodka or these 2 bottles of whatever that I was going to use for the pre-party, and I would buy all the food for that week. And then I would save like 20 euros for a taxi to come back, which is an emergency. So you really start planning on your money when
you have little.
When you have very little.
Interesting. It happened to me too.
Yeah,
you feel like exactly. Yeah.
You start to be creative around it, you know.
Right. For example, I took flasks. Flask é cantil, aquela garrafinha que você bota no bolso para entrar na balada. And I filled it up with alcohol,
so
I wouldn't spend 15 euro in one drink.
Exactly, and we were doing the same.
15 euro is like 85 reais por drink, and I was a student. I was making my money as a promoter, but shit, my dad gave me 100 euro per month.
Yeah.
That was like, no, he gave me like 80 euro per month. That's like nothing.
Which is a night out.
It's one night out, exactly. So yeah, we got creative. Like for example, instead of taking a taxi back.
You walk or
we just walk. Take BC. No, BC is not working at night.
It's not working at night, but yeah, you find your way around it, you know, and you just find all the ways possible to save money in order to do that one thing that you like the best.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, that's.
And then you ran out of money.
Yeah.
And you went back home.
Yes.
To live with your parents.
No, to actually because I wanted to do a master. And
so in Europe, masters is like basically if you don't have a master's, you're nobody basically. Everyone has a master's, pretty much. Yeah. Whoever's serious about like getting a job, masters.
There's jobs like there's the more decent jobs in Europe. You need to have a master in order to be accepted.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So my idea was to go back and to do a master. So I asked my parents like, hey, can I do a master? And they said, well, you spend all your money in Barcelona, so maybe it's time for you to work a year and to earn your own master if you think you're serious about it.
Oh shit.
So I started working in a mental illness center.
Wait, so let's go back.
Yeah.
Hotel, Chinese restaurant, butcher, call center, mental illness center. Mental illness center é hospício. What did you do at the mental illness center?
I was a receptionist.
Ele era recepcionista de hospício. All right. But like, maybe because you're in Holland and a place with very high salaries and very high cost of living, you're probably making more money than a doctor in Brazil.
Yeah.
What was your salary as a receptionist at a mental illness center?
I think it was about 1,700 euros.
1,700 euros.
Yeah.
1.700 euros, multiplica aí.
So 7,500.
8.500 reais para ser recepcionista de hospício. All right, and then you worked there for a year?
For a year.
Save money?
I saved a lot of money.
Because you were living with your parents?
No, I was living in a house, but I only paid 200 euros for it.
That's it? Yeah. 200 euros?
Yeah, because it was with, and that was an amazing time. I was living there in an apartment with all my friends from Holland. So.
In Maastricht.
In Eindhoven.
You live in Eindhoven?
Yeah.
I have a girlfriend in Eindhoven.
What's her name?
No, I don't have a girlfriend in Eindhoven. All right. So, all right, and then you made enough money to pay for your master's. Master's in what?
Masters in international management.
All right.
And I decided to go back to Barcelona and do the masters here.
Wait. Oh, so your master's was here?
Yeah, I did it in the Autónoma.
Outside of Barcelona in what's Sant Cugat? No, you take the Ferrocarril up Passa Catalunya, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is about half an hour, maybe an hour away.
Something like this. Yeah.
Autónoma, and you did a master's. How much is a master's for a European citizen?
I think I paid around 5,000 euros.
5.000 euros por um mestrado, tá? Nos Estados Unidos, um mestrado custa $60 mil por ano, $120 mil por um mestrado de 2 anos, about 100,000 euros. So like, it's much more worth it to like get a master's in Europe than in the United States.
Yeah, of course.
And there's something I took from Mark Sagara's podcast is the fact that America is very good at marketing.
Yeah.
America is only like the greatest country in the world because they promote themselves as the greatest country in the world. And they only have the best universities in the world because they know how to promote themselves. Because like they're not as hard as like European universities, you know, but like they know how to promote themselves.
So that's one thing, obviously, with the United States, and the other thing is like all the magazines that call out the best.
They're Americans.
They're Americans.
Yeah, true.
So they all have relationships with each other, and they pay some money in order to be the number one in the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And then you got that cheap master's. Your first job after that. What year are we talking about? 2012, 13?
12, yeah.
You were 24 years old.
Yeah. So I did my master's. In the meantime, I started working.
You had zero money then.
No, I had money, and I also got money from my parents afterwards.
And the Dutch government pays you, right? Because if you're a student.
Yes, but for this one, it didn't, because like they pay you for 4 years, and I already done 4 years.
So like go back. So during university year, you get a pocket money from the government for being a student.
Normally, but not at all times. Like only if you would still within your 4 years of studying.
Yeah, in the 4 years, yeah.
But this was my 5th year.
I know, but like in the first 4 years, like people who are like 20 years old in Holland, they get money from the government.
Yes, they do.
How much?
Depends on whether you live by yourself. So if you have to go to another city, you will get more money in order to...
How much?
Like around 400-500 euros, I would say.
Wow. Então, as pessoas ganham 500 euros para estudar.
Yeah.
Se morar em outra cidade, vai ganhar 500 euros do governo. Isso é país desenvolvido. Puta que pariu.
But this money is to be used for your living, for your house.
Well, pay rents, food.
Well, not really food.
Alcohol.
No, it's not really for this. But in Holland, you could there's like a special program. If you want to study, you can borrow money from the government at 1% interest rate.
Which is nothing.
Which is absolutely nothing.
1% juros per year.
On the total amount that you basically get.
That's nothing.
It's nothing, and you only have to pay it back like 5 years after.
5 years after you graduate. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
Man, that's not bad. So after your master's, what did you do?
During my master's, I started working in an online marketing agency, specialized in affiliate marketing.
Online marketing, okay.
Exactly. And that was actually a Dutch startup company. So
based in Barcelona. Why did they move here?
For the same reasons that
because the owner wanted to like have a good life,
exactly,
quality of living, party, and like good weather.
These two guys, they were working in Vistaprint.
Oh, Vistaprint,
yes. And they basically looked at the company, what the company was doing, and they were actually entrepreneurs, and they saw the idea and they thought like, okay, we can do this better. So they basically started doing the same business model and focusing more on online marketing. And so that's where I started my internship.
That's like the job you had over there by Sagara's house, up in
yes, correct.
Over the diagonal, up in the
exactly.
De Augusta, something around
exactly there. And so I actually wanted to go back to Holland after that internship and after I graduated from a master. But at that same time, they offered me a job, and I was thinking like, okay, why not?
The same guys. How much?
So it was like an unlimited contract, and it was not a lot of money though. I think I was earning around maybe 1,400 euros.
1.300 euros, which is like about as much as you earn without a master. So like in Europe, like if you have a master, if you don't have a master's, you pretty much earn the same thing.
No, really, it depends on the country.
Okay.
Really, like Spain is not considered as.
So Spain is not a good country for salaries.
Well, Now it changed. By then it was not, because it was crisis.
Oh yeah, Spain was in a crisis, real estate crisis for sure. Yeah.
So it was not a good moment at the work floor. But at the same time, I was happy. I was working with a fun group of people. I think that was the most important. Like for me, always the most important thing has been like first. More important than salary was the place that I was living. I wanted to live in a place where I was happy. And for me, I like,
you love Barcelona since you were 22.
I love it, and I knew always that I wanted to go back there. So that was the first thing. Then I hear people always say like, I want to have my dream job, and I always think like,
what was your dream job? Yeah,
I never had it. I never had a dream.
You never
job.
had a dream job?
No, I just like my goal is to find a job where I like to work with people, and that pays me all the money that I can I need to do whatever I love, and what I love is traveling, sports. Going out party? Not anymore. You don't go out partying anymore. Not too much.
You're 30 already, right?
Well, 29.
About to have married. You need to get a wife and kids.
Well,
Brazilian women, mulheres brasileiras, o Sander está solteiro. Ele é bonito, rico e holandês e tem passaporte. Do you understand what I just said?
Yes, they can have a passport.
Yeah. All right.
So,
and then, like, how did you end up in a big tech company?
Yeah, so at a certain point, and that's something that I've had all my life. Like when I start to be unhappy about certain things, I start to look around, and because at that time I was unhappy for a salary increase that I didn't get.
Okay,
so, like,
you were expecting them to raise your salary.
Yeah, and it was a little bit too low. So that's when I started looking around, and I knew like everyone around me was always talking about these big companies that they wanted to work for. And I thought like, hey, I could target these big companies as well.
Right.
So in the end, I ended up working in eBay. So eBay, yeah.
So all right, so can you tell me about like why all these big companies are moving to Barcelona and making it their European headquarters?
Because
we're talking about eBay, Amazon. What are the big companies here in Barcelona right now? eBay, Vistaprint. It's not as big, but Amazon, SAP, really? SAP. Magento, which is now Adobe.
HP. What else is Pepsi?
All right. So, and they're all in this area of Glorious, right?
Pepsi, and the other one, the other big one is Nestle. No. So most of them are in the 22 area. So that's the area where I live right now. So
22 area. Why is it 22?
22nd century. So that's what they are.
Oh, wow. Not 21st century, 22nd century. Wow.
Yeah. So that's pretty nice. And
Século 22 é o bairro aqui moderno, tecnológico de Barcelona, perto daquele prédio que parece peru.
Yeah. And and that's so why they are coming here was your question. I think the reason why they come here is because there's a lot of international people, so they have a lot of language skills here,
right?
Which is necessary to serve the European
market, right?
Labor is relatively cheap.
It's much cheaper to pay a qualified person living in Barcelona than in London.
Exactly.
Than in Scandinavia, than in Paris or in Amsterdam, all right.
Or in Munich, because that's the other one.
Like, and like if they want to find a German person, they'll find German people in Barcelona for sure.
It's more rare to find though, but these people, like if you're a German-speaking person in Barcelona, you have a future. You have a really good future because
the companies need these people.
They need it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. And then you start working on eBay. What did you do at eBay?
I was working for one account as an analyst for Ralph Lauren.
Polo Ralph
Lauren. So they basically had like eBay was good at selling stuff.
Right.
eBay basically, and Ralph Lauren had the clothes. They had beautiful clothes.
Right.
So they started working together. Like, hey, how can we use your experience on this in order to be successful? So my role was basically to look after like all the small little issues and troubleshoot and see where little.
You were an account manager for Ralph Lauren.
Analyst.
You were like connecting eBay with the client Ralph Lauren.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's a client-based job. Like you had to do whatever the client needs.
Exactly. Yeah.
Customer service, not really customer service, but like more like
Customer
B2B,
success.
customer success. All right.
Yeah, that's more it. And basically, like it was for the websites.
Well, since eBay is an American company, your salary went up.
Yeah, yeah.
American companies pay well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They started. So I went up. Like,
Yeah.
Like
you don't need to tell me how much, but like, all right. And then what happened?
Yeah, so also like with eBay, and that is the problem with the corporate companies. I was used to be working in that startup where you have like all the freedom to do whatever you want.
Right, small startups, fast growth. You have freedom. You have like not many like processes.
Exactly.
You don't have a hierarchy.
Exactly, and in eBay, all of that was
even though it's a tech company, it's an old tech company,
yeah.
like Microsoft and HP,
exactly.
like from the previous wave of
they are the
companies.
dinosaurs. They are the dinosaurs.
Dinosaur tech companies. The younger tech companies are like Facebook, whatever.
Facebook, Magento was one of them that only
Magento's a younger tech company.
10 years. Well, there's plenty of them. Twitter. I think one of the best companies to work for is Netflix.
They have Netflix in Barcelona now.
They don't have it. I think they're in Amsterdam. I'm not sure about that, but so there's plenty of them, and honestly, I think those are the best companies you want to work for because they're always innovating. They are always. I was saying it the other week that the moment that you're working for a company that is younger than 10 years old, that is aspiring to be acquired by a large company, so they have like something unique, you know, that makes them a market leader in one of the two things. Those are the most interesting companies to work for.
So vou traduzir aqui. Para ele, as empresas mais interessantes de se trabalhar são as empresas jovens com menos de 10 anos que estão com vontade de ser compradas por um dinossauro grandão. From a big company, getting acquired by a big company. Why are they so good to work?
Because they are doing everything to set you up for success.
Okay.
So they invest
the culture.
They invest in their people. They do everything to make their people exceed on whatever they can exceed with. You know?
All right. So, for example, tell me one something that, like, for example, I know that Google had like free food for employees.
Yeah. So for example, what we had in that period, and it all grew. We didn't have that in the beginning.
Right.
So we have like 3-4 different kinds of coffee. For everyone, it's ridiculous. So you have like Italian coffee, you have
espresso, Americano.
These are but different brands.
Oh wow!
So Nespresso, Lavazza, and then you have like from a vending machine.
Right.
So for everyone, for free.
All right.
Free breakfast.
Free breakfast. So you don't need to spend money on breakfast at home. That's like last burden of your salary.
Exactly.
All right.
Showers. Why?
Showers in the office.
Why?
Because, so for example, you go running in the morning and you go shower in the office. And, oh wow, that's crazy.
Exactly for that. For that reason, so that people that they don't have to think that much about like all the things that they have to do that will distract them from actually doing the job.
Oh wow! So that's like one of the reasons why Steve Jobs and like Mark Zuckerberg always wore the same clothes every day.
Yeah, well, they didn't want to get
won't have to like
yeah.
They won't like have no one decided like I'll just focus on my job, focus on me like all right,
and
streamline.
It's a bit scary, but that is because in the end of the day, it's like with these small little things, they are influencing the way that you are behaving. Because maybe you still want to think about it, but you're not thinking about it anymore.
Right.
You know, but at the same time, like that focus and that flexibility, because also like what I started to get, I could work from home whenever I wanted.
Work from home, like remote. Just turn on your internet and like boom.
And that's it, you know. So, I mean, I was like everyone thinks that you don't do the same amount of work, but you work harder because you don't want to disappoint your manager.
Oh, true. So like when you're working from home, you don't want to disappoint your manager, so like you make sure like you're doing shit.
That you're doing a good job, so that you don't make him mistrust you. You know?
Right.
So yeah, that and we had like games. We have a ping pong table. We have a football in. We have like places where you can
like
sleep.
One of those Silicon Valley companies
exactly
that we see in the
those.
movies.
Exactly one of those.
How did you end up there?
Going from eBay.
Yeah.
So yeah, at a certain point, like I started getting annoyed with eBay because I could not really express myself. I was doing the same job every day. It was getting bored. I was not getting any promotion. So that's why. So Magento used to be part of eBay. They spun out. I was going...
Okay, so Magento used to be a member, like...
Just like PayPal was part of eBay.
Yeah.
And other companies were
Spin
part
off,
of,
yeah.
So...
so eBay separated from PayPal and from Magento.
Exactly. And I was going to stay with eBay. I was going to stay with eBay, but I basically knew most of the people that were going to Magento, and that really seemed like a young company. I knew one of the managers, and basically I spoke with him, and I ended up getting the job that I wanted. So I became a manager, so a key account manager for some of the largest brands they've had. So I worked with Brown-Forman, which is the company of Jack Daniels.
Oh yeah.
With Helly Hansen.
I don't know what Helly Hansen.
It's for ski clothing.
Okay.
Like what else with
Frankfurt Airport?
Frankfurt Airport, which is a very nice story, like a real omni-channel kind of story. So bigger clients.
And all right, so what does Magento do?
So Magento is basically an e-commerce platform.
Right.
So if
Plataforma de e-commerce.
Yeah. So if you have a good product or you have a good service and you want to sell that online, you want to be online present because it's cheaper to be online present than offline. So if you have a retail store, you have to pay rent.
You have to pay employees and different taxes.
Exactly. So
lights, electricity,
all these things. So with an e-commerce platform, you pay for the platform or like
and for the warehouse.
For the warehouse, if you need one. With Amazon, you can have, for example, Amazon.
You don't need a warehouse.
Exactly. Or if you sell services, you don't need it either. So,
right.
So basically, like it's the back end process of your web shop.
Okay, sounds good. And then, so you are a key account manager between Magento and these big companies.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you sell? No.
No.
You're customer success.
Customer success.
You make sure the customer is doing well and the customer stays. You're more about retention than like acquisition.
Exactly.
Retenção e não aquisição.
Exactly.
All right. And one of the reasons I wanted to bring in for an interview is like I interview a lot of entrepreneurs here. Mm-hmm. Basically everyone's entrepreneur. Not many people like do the traditional way of like just getting a job. Mm-hmm. And because like I decided not to interview people who had jobs. Mm-hmm. But like you were an example of a person who has a job, but you're like very happy about your job. Mm-hmm. And you did other things to make more money outside of your job, and sometimes you end up making more money outside of your job than in your job. Yeah. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So one thing, and that's going back to what I've been doing when I was younger.
Right.
Like when you don't have a lot of money, you start to be creative.
Right.
So, for example, if you want to live in a beautiful house, you can live in a beautiful house, but you have to be smart around it. So if that house has like 4 different rooms, and you can rent out 4 different rooms if you take that, and then you can live yourself for free, right?
Okay, so you're making all that money and you were not paying rent.
Exactly.
So basicamente ele morava num apartamento top. You were paying rent, right? Then you're paying rent.
I was paying rent.
How many rooms?
4. In total 3. Yeah.
Ok, tinha 3 quartos no apartamento. Ele alugava 2. E morava de graça. You lived for free.
Yes.
And like you're making money like that, and then like what happened?
I mean, like you start to save on the biggest expense in life,
which is rent.
No,
the biggest expense in life is taxes.
Is it? Yeah. Well, yeah. Probably you're right.
Yeah. And then rent. Yeah.
Yeah. So you start.
Rent é aluguel, pessoal.
Yeah. So you start saving money on that, and basically that's and to be honest, like I never wanted to do that. I just like came into a position where I was stuck with 2 extra rooms that I couldn't afford, and I wanted to look for another place. And then actually it was 2 Brazilian girls that told me like, hey Sander, do you know a place to stay in Barcelona? And then I thought like, hey, why don't you come and stay with me? And we split the rent.
Right.
So by that time I was still splitting the rent. I was paying a little bit less, but staying in the best room. So then from one thing came another, and everyone started asking me like, hey Sander, can we stay in your place? Like, is there a possibility to rent out your room for 6 months? And then I continued to say yes. And then friends of friends. And that's when I started thinking like, maybe it's maybe I shouldn't be paying any rent because I paid for all the furniture.
Right.
I have the risk.
Right.
Like if these people don't pay me, I still have to pay. And that's when I started thinking like maybe I should increase it a little bit, where I started earning money on it.
Right.
And that's when like after doing that for a year or so, together with the salary I had, I was able to save enough money to buy a house.
Oh, so you bought an apartment in Barcelona.
Yes. And
ele comprou apartamento.
Yeah. And I continue doing the same, but then with 2 flats.
Okay, so you're renting one as a renter. Tava alugando e o outro ele morava, que era o apartamento dele, e ele alugava os quartos. So you were like a real estate developer.
Yeah, and I mean like at a certain point ethically it didn't feel well to be doing these things, but I had to do it because I was still in contract.
Okay, the other apartment that you rented, you had a contract, so if you left the country you still had to pay.
I still had to pay. So
you just rented out for other people.
Yeah. So
and you made money on them.
Not too much.
Well, but like you're making money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you're making money here because you're renting out to other people.
Exactly.
How many rooms is your apartment now? 4? 3?
4. So
então, ele comprou um apartamento de 4 quartos numa zona muito boa de Barcelona. Actually, when you bought this apartment, this area wasn't that good.
Yeah.
Poblano was a shit place of Barcelona.
It was. Yeah.
Did you know that it was going to become like a tech hub?
I mean, like, I started liking the place. And, I mean, like, somehow you see if an area, because I always have been interested in real estate and then spending time in different places in the city. So I saw like this place is close to the beach.
Right.
It had a shopping mall.
What, 10 minutes walking? 15?
10 minutes walking.
10 minutes walking. There's a shopping mall about 2 minutes from here. 3?
Exactly. There's a park next to my house. You can see it right now.
Yeah, right now, yeah. Do you play soccer there now?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah?
Every now and then. Or play tennis.
Tem uma vista maravilhosa. Very nice view.
Yeah, and
4 bedrooms, that's not bad for a 30-year-old who owns a 4-bedroom apartment in Barcelona and rents out the 3 other rooms and makes money out of it and makes money out of the other apartment and gets a good salary in a tech company. That's not bad.
I mean, it's amazing, and I love everything about it.
Right? Yeah, you seem like a pretty happy motherfucker.
And the good thing is like with all the people that come and live here, I become friends with them.
That is true. You don't strike me as the guy. For example, I'm a loner. I like being by myself. I'm an only child. And I'm a writer.
Yeah.
So I like my lonely moments.
Yeah.
I like to be by myself and write, to do my own shit.
Yeah.
And like I wouldn't like to live with 3 other people in my own apartment. You don't have a problem with that. You like being around people.
Yeah. I mean,
you wouldn't be like, I don't think you work well like living totally by yourself in an apartment like this.
I mean, like it's not that it's lonely, but like some people get, like you are the kind of person that if you go to meet people, you want to entertain those people, and that takes a lot of energy. And
it does for me. Yeah. How do you know?
I mean, like,
If I'm with people, I need to entertain those people, and I feel like obliged to like make sure they're having a good time.
Exactly, and I mean, like that's if that's part of your character, that's very exhausting for yourself.
You're more laid back.
Not all the time, because I have that part in my character as well, where I want to entertain other people. But I think in general, like everyone needs some time for themselves to be alone and to reload. But I'm also one of those persons. I get a lot of energy from other people.
True.
So if I'm for example with yourself or with
Eric.
With Eric or with Guillaume or with Jean or any of these people or any of my friends here, Tom. I get a lot of energy from these people.
Right.
All the time. So, I mean, yeah.
And like, you forgot to say about another benefit of working at a tech company is that it can be acquired.
Yeah.
And you get stocks.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's the thing. Like one thing that I would recommend everyone is to always, like, if you're working in a small company that is striving for these goals, make sure that you at a certain point that you get a part of it, that you obtain units.
Ações.
Yeah.
Porcentagem de participação na empresa.
Because that's the thing that makes it actually very interesting. Like
the possibility of making a lot of money through a sale.
Exactly, because then also you're more motivated to make that company a success. Like everyone in life always needs to have a certain how you call that, incentive.
Right.
to exceed on what he's good at.
Right, motivation. Yeah.
And
your incentive was work hard, elevate the value of the company.
Exactly.
So the company will be acquired.
Exactly.
And you make a lot of money on the sale.
Exactly.
That's what happened.
That's what happened with me, and that's
Magento
with the rest of the company.
Right, Magento got acquired by Adobe Acrobat Reader, PDF.
For example.
Yeah. Adobe what? Adobe
Photoshop.
Premiere. Adobe Final Cut.
Sensei.
I don't know what Sensei is.
Sensei is like the BI tool from Adobe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, wow. And then you're still working there because you still have more stocks from Adobe.
Not just this. I find it just in general, it's a very interesting company. I think Adobe is unique in what it does. And it's like building that whole experience, right?
Right.
So whatever we see out there, like half of the experiences that we are looking for, they are well, I want to say that they are part of Adobe, but that's not true. But everyone is looking for a personalized way to be approached, and before you know it, you are buying things because they feel right, and that feeling has been brought to you in a certain way. And whether that's by your phone, whether it's because you're walking around and you see that one thing that, hey, shit, I have always been looking at it. And that all has to do with the fact that they are all the time gathering data of you. So, like...
I don't get what you said. Like, yeah, it's... If I speak English fluent and I didn't get what you said, like, the people who are listening to it have no fucking idea what you just said.
So basically, if you are in Instagram,
right?
If you're looking for some products and you see something, you sometimes have a feeling like, "Hey, fuck, I've looked at that, and that's exactly what I want."
Right.
So what happens is that wherever you are or wherever you are looking, maybe you are looking
data. All right. What's the connection between Adobe and this?
It's tech. So I think like where before the big oil companies like in Brazil it's probably Petrobras or was Petrobras.
You are Shell, Royal Dutch.
Yeah. For example, like they are taking over the data companies. True. Because they are getting all the information from you in order to make you buy whatever the fuck they want.
Makes sense. And do you want to go back to Holland one day?
I mean, like, I live from day to day.
Right, but tell me why Holland is a great place to live, and tell me why Holland is not a great place to live.
So it's great because, first of all, I understand the language and services.
Not for you, but for people.
Okay, so services are great. Like you don't have to worry about getting a career, getting a normal paid job, making a living, getting from A to B.
Transportation is good. Hospitals are good. Jobs are good. Salaries are good.
Studies are good. Everything is basically good.
All right, tell me why Holland is not a wonderland.
Because
it's cold.
The weather is not that good, and it's an important thing, at least for me.
Well, for me too. Like, for example, I could go like 6 months without seeing the sun.
Yeah.
New York's like that. London's like that. And that's bad for your, like, I mean, you got depression from the winter and like from the mood.
You need light. You need light. I mean, like that's why the people in Brazil are so happy, no? If you go to the Copacabana, you don't see a single person crying.
Right. That's true.
It's the sun. No, I like a downside is really like in Holland you don't really have big cities, and I really like to live in a big city like Barcelona where you have.
Wait. Is Barcelona? Yeah, Barcelona might be bigger than Amsterdam.
It is bigger. What? Yeah, it's bigger.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. It's Amsterdam has 1 million people.
That's it.
Barcelona is the double. So yeah.
Wow. And can you tell me about your experience in Brazil? You've been there 3 times.
3 times.
Why do you like Brazil so much? Don't say the women.
I didn't want to say that, but we both know that's true.
Women in Brazil are beautiful because you're from Holland. I prefer Dutch women because I'm from Brazil.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's not just this. It's like people in general in Brazil. They whether they are rich or poor, they do the same things, but in a different level. So they all love football, and I love football. They all like to dance. They all like to eat meat, like do a nice
churrasco
churrasco, no, rodizio, you know. I mean, like And like when doing these things, they are always smiling, you know.
Right.
And so that joy, at least, and I'm just saying, like, I don't want to
from
be
an
like,
outsider,
and from an outsider's perspective, this is what I see, and this is what I enjoy. And
people warm, like people are warm to you.
People are very warm. Yeah.
Right.
For
So
example,
you have like at least 10 friends from like Guilherme. Let's count: Guilherme, Henrique, Bernardo, Fernanda, Mariana, Raiam, Eric, Diogo, 8.
There's more people. Like the other friends of I still speak with, for example, with Ingrid and Jamili every now and then. She's now in Portugal. But yeah, there's plenty
a lot of people. That's true. Yeah.
And all these people in Sao Paulo, like
Guilherme's friends. Yeah,
Guilherme's
true.
friends,
Yeah, you met a lot of rich people in Brazil, man.
Nice people.
Nice people. Yeah.
Nice people. Yeah.
Damn, man. Like, right, we got a PSV game next soon, so like we gotta watch Champions League. Let me finish with like, tell me one country that you want to visit you haven't visited yet, and why? Why you want to visit it so much?
I'm going to Colombia, and I'm really looking forward to.
That's exactly the same country Mark Segarra said in his interview. Colombia. Why are you guys so obsessed with Colombia? Come on, seriously.
Yeah. Man, it's
why Colombia?
It's a new hotspot.
All right.
Nature,
I guess.
Man, nature. No, I mean, like, apart from the fact that you have beautiful things to do, I think it's something that could come close to Brazil. Because like
we're brothers. Yeah, Colombia and Brazil, we walk hand in hand.
Yeah, and it's
especially after the flight accident, Chapecoense. We became even closer as countries.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's the same. Like, if I meet people from Colombia, they're also always nice. So like, I think, like, if you want to give one thing as a foreigner to when you're traveling, is like give them the impression that you are nice, because that's also how these people will see your country then, you know?
Yeah.
So,
we like good food. We're close to the equator.
Exactly.
Weather's hot. Women are good looking. We like dancing. We like drinking. It's like kind of the same people. And we eat the same food because, like, if you go to Colombia, you eat rice and beans and meat. So it's like just like us. That's true.
Good coffee.
All right. That good coffee, of course. Yeah. And they have oil. And we have oil too. So, yeah, we're kind of pretty much the same country, but we're bigger and better. Let's see. Book that you gave the most to people.
And there's actually one. I just gave one book to one person.
All right.
And it was a funny one because we gave the two books two times the same book to one person. Right. The Power of Positive Thinking.
All right. Power of Positive Thinking. By who?
I don't know.
Well, I'll figure out. Yeah.
But my favorite one.
Yeah.
It's The Subtle Art of
Not giving a fuck. I was reading it this morning actually. I was actually listening to you on audiobook.
It's
for the third time. And that's my philosophy for the... Like, you know me for a while. You know that, like, since you know me, like, I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
I think that's the most important
thing.
Right? Because
it's like my life philosophy. I'm like, fuck you. I'm going to be my own... You know who else is like that? Segarra is like that.
Yeah,
that's one of the reasons he's so successful.
Yeah.
Right?
And who else is like that? I mean, it's important not to give a fuck, but also to give a fuck about the right things. And I think a good example of that is Eric. Eric is a really good example of the kind of guy who gives a fuck about the right things. He would not spend his energy on something that is never gonna pay him back. And that made him very successful as well.
And I will interview Eric too. So that'll be another podcast going up. And if I say the word success, what's the first person that comes up in your mind? That's a hard question.
So the first person that comes to my mind when you say success. So that's probably my little brother, man.
Your little brother. How old is he?
He's 23.
Why is he so successful?
He's not successful.
But why is he the first person?
Because he wants to be successful.
And he has a drive, that like the intellect, the motivation, and like.
Yeah, exactly. And he wants to be he's a chef. He's a cooker. So he's now a chef in a good restaurant. But
at 23?
23, and he wants to go for work for Michelin star and for 2 Michelin star. And in the end of the day, he wants to have a restaurant like that for himself. And I mean, like, when I see the kind of things that he's leaving behind in order to be successful at his job, I find it risky, but at the same time I find it impressive. So I'm really.
Why is he better than you?
I'm not saying he's better than me.
I know, but like, why? Like, what do you see on him that you didn't see on you at 23?
I don't have the same passion.
That's true. You're not passionate about one thing.
Oh.
You're just like, you lay back. You leave life go on, and like you do your own things. You make your money. Like you worry about quality of living. He gives up his quality of living to be the best at what he does.
Exactly.
And that's why he's so successful. And that's why you know he's gonna be so successful.
Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Hopefully one day I'll interview him as like a Michelin 5-star chef on what's the name of the Netflix series?
Which one?
About chefs. Chef's Table.
Chef's Table. Yeah.
Chef's Table.
Oh.
And to end our conversation, like, well, on top of your 30 years of experience, like, a lot of people who listen to this podcast are like, well, kind of like lost. And what can you tell to these people? Like, based on your experience, like, what kind of piece of advice you can give to Brazilian kids?
Start somewhere. I mean, like, the worst thing that you can do is to be always thinking, I should have done that. No. Just do it, and if you don't like it, just continue to do it until you find something better. Don't stop. Continue to do those things.
Like you started as a butcher boy, and then you were a waiter, garçom. Então foi de açougueiro para recepcionista, para garçom, para call center, para recepcionista, para atendimento ao cliente de uma grande empresa, para um cargo de diretor, manager, e hoje em dia ele é um picão numa empresa grande de tecnologia, e ele tem ações, e ele tá rico pra caralho. So you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. And don't stop until you find something better.
All right.
And keep looking for that something better all the time.
And what's the something better you keep looking for? You, right now?
A new flat.
Alright, ele vai comprar outro apartamento, vai fazer o império dele, the third flat, third apartment, 30 years old. I like that, Sander. Sander, thanks a lot for having me here. Thanks a lot for your friendship.
Thank you.
And well, yeah, it was a great talk, man. Thanks a lot.
Nice. Thank you.
Bom, esse foi mais um podcast Mundoraiam. Se você não entendeu nada, eu tenho a transcrição do negócio aqui embaixo e tamo junto. Até o próximo episódio. Valeu. Valeu. Valeu.